Right, new live stream. I'm going to show you how quick the blogging, posting and editing workflow is that I've got running now. Just move that around a bit. So I sit in the middle of it. Bring the mic a bit closer. Cool. So first thing, just one tiny little improvement is I've symlinked my blog repo just to the root of my home directory. I'm running jekyll, which has a neat feature where instead of going cd blog, you can literally just type the folder name and it will cd into it, which is cool. So that's one thing. This is a jekyll blog, which is configured to push to GitHub. So I think, yeah, there you go, fetch push. And that is all configured to ship out any changes. So I'm going to do it in two parts. I'm going to show you a brand new blog post. I've got one lined up to write, just a quick one. And then I'll show you an edit to show you that workflow. I've got a whole bunch of different tools in here. The first one is, so what we've got, let me make some notes as I go. So we've got jekyll, symlink to root, do fuzzy finder later. The next thing I've done is in the drafts folder I have a template file, and then I have a script called new, which will sort out a newly created blog file based on whatever name I provide. So we're going to use that. New, open quotes, what should we call it? We're going to blog about site builders, because I generally do custom development and technical things, but people who are less technical and are not going to do these things ask me, how do I build a website? So I want something that I can point them to. With a site builder, maybe, or tools for point and click websites. Sorry, this is where it gets slow because I've got to think of names. Oh, I should open my restream just in case anyone decides to comment at me, because otherwise I won't know. So yeah, if you're listening and you want to say hello, drop a comment in on YouTube or Twitch, and restream should tell me because it's got this clever, like, show me all the things. Right, site builders, I could just call it site builders. Point and click. Tools for building websites. Tools. Here we go. Website builders for non-programmers. Here we go. Got there. Right, so it fills in the title, it names the file, uses the template. Okay, now I've already got some links ready. So I'm going to just paste those in. I turn them into links, bullets rather. So that's one thing to note, is I'm using Markdown. So jekyll, Markdown, these are all important things. I'm going to turn this into a blog post as well. So that's a good start. So these links need to have these around them so that we know what they are. The big old workplace, of course. Let's go just check the links. Nope, that is one thing about Vim, it overwrites my clipboard Notion. Did you know you can build a website through Notion? And this one we're going to give a proper link. And this is how you do a proper link in HTML. Webflow. I'm just in a browser elsewhere, just grabbing some links. Okay, so there we've got some links in no particular order, and I'm going to put a link to my own. Right, the next thing is we want to see, so I'm just going to add that. I should mention Git. Still making some notes as I go. So we've got, this is telling us that we've got a new file, 16 lines added, but we want to see what that looks like, so we don't want to publish it unless we know that this is good. So I'm just going to fire a tmux. This gives me multiple terminals in one, so I can do things like split the screen all in one place. And I've got a web browser ready for us to use. Now I've got another script called up, which fires up Jekyll locally. To be able to do this, you have to have Ruby installed and working, which is not necessarily trivial. I use ASDF-VM to make sure that that's available. So let's make a note of that. Ruby on Rails locally, ASDF-VM. Available. So for that, you'll find a tool versions file that says what we need available, and then an ASDF file that says, okay, we are pinned to one that I know works, which is cool. I won't show more of that, but if I run this up script, it fires up bundle exec Jekyll, and then waits for the port to become available, which takes a little while because I've got quite a lot of blog posts now, particularly since I imported some of my old stuff. And then it automatically pops the browser. I didn't touch anything. And now we can see a preview running locally, so that's localhost, not on the actual website, with the new blog post in it. So if I compare that to the real website, it's not there, whereas it is on my local copy. So I can have a look at this blog post and go, yeah, that looks good. Do a little quick proofread. Here's some tools. Do custom coding, but sometimes not doing it. Here's a list of tools. And then we'll just check the links. Dunk, 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 dunk. I'm just holding down Control while I click them. So Webflow, Notion, Bricks. Don't even know that one. So these are some of these are ones that people have mentioned to me. And that's my own one. So it's cool, that's an absolute link, which is fine. Okay. So I could make this a little bit tidier. I could just make these links look a bit nicer. So I'm going to show you a couple of editing flows now as part of this. So I'm gonna leave this but running in the background with Control ZC, which is how I've got Tmux configured. So it's still there, but it's just not in the front. Now I've got two ways of opening that file because that's a little bit hard to find. So I'd either have to type edit that or find it. So I've installed a tool called Fuzzy Finder, FSF I think it's called, FZF. I'll look it up and put it in the notes. Which means I can do, so Vim is a text editor for the command line, **, and when I press tab, it starts searching, and then I can just search builders. So you have to look at the posts one, not the site one. The site is the generated output of Jekyll, so ignore that. It's the posts one. And now that's so much easier than typing the whole thing or copy and pasting and then edit. So let's edit one of these. And I'm going to use a Vim macro to do this. So QQ to start recording. And we're going to go V, do we find there, yank. We're going to go back to there. We're going to insert square brackets, paste, add, square brackets, angle brackets, end. Close off the link, escape, and go to the next one, and then just kill the... Oh, I think I didn't get the editing. Oh, macro's a little bit fiddly, but it's well worth it. Let me do that again. So QQ, oh there we go, recording Q. I didn't get it right. So we'll go over just manually to there, VT/yank, back to there, P for paste, A for add, open brackets, delete, end of the line, place was one of those, and then Q to stop recording, and then I should be able to go at Q. Yeah, there we go. At Q, this is really good for repeating things. At Q, oh, that one didn't work. Ah, it's got no slash on the end, so I couldn't find it. Do it again, at Q, there we go, that's better. And I'm going to get rid of the wah because we don't need those. To delete word. Right, and we write that, and if we flip back to the web browser, it's got live reload. So if we just wait for a second, it should, if it's behaving, poof, magically reloads. Much better. And let's just double check those links again, make sure I haven't actually broken them as part of the edit. Yep, they all look good. The tabs on the left are called tree-sized tabs in Firefox. It's an excellent plugin to allow you to keep track of things. Right, so that's that. Shift ZZ to save and exit. And now you can see the change here. And there's another way that I quite often edit as an alternative to this, which is to fire up VS Code. So if I just type code dot open up off the screen recording, I'll just drag that in. It's very easy to get to, and then Control P to open any file, and we are editing builders, website builders. So this knows to ignore that. Okay, and again, Shift ZZ and just kill that. And again, we can just have a look and it should very promptly reload. If I just flip back to here, you can see it's generating. There you go, so one brand new blog post. We haven't published that yet. So we stage that in Git. So we've got the new file, we commit it. So new post, this is what the commit, this is the record of history. New post, website builders. This just makes it easy to see what's happened because you can look at the history and see all of the things that I've done on my blog over time. This is public if anyone wants to go and look. So you can see the change there, and then git push. Again, I've got aliases for all of this stuff. And if we go and look at the repository on GitHub, what we will find is that GitHub Actions is now running. So just by setting out GitHub pages on GitHub, you will get this. And as soon as this has finished, then the new blog post will appear here. But while that's running, I hope you can see that this is a super slick flow. I'm able to make new blog posts and edits extremely quickly, which means that the barrier to sharing what I've learned is very low. It's very easy to replicate this approach to other blogs. It doesn't necessarily have to stay as GitHub hosting. There's no lock-in there. I've got the custom domain, so I can point it at GitHub pages while that works. If they ever decide to turn that off or make it more restrictive, then I could move to some other cheap static site hosting. Jekyll is very well supported, but this works super well for me for the time being. Nearly deploy, it's done the build. You can drill into these to see kind of exactly what it's doing. And that should be, there we go, it's up, it's live. One brand new blog post. And then I've got a couple of links on here that I just manually created. So you can then easily promote what you've just created. So very easy, tweet. Maybe other people will, although I haven't seen much sign of that yet, but that comes with time and popularity. The LinkedIn share page is a bit weird, but it does work. Oh, I say it does work. That's the first time it's ever not worked for me. I'll do that later. Anyway, the other thing that's cool is I've got in this template, which you're welcome to go and look at. The source code is all public on my GitHub repo. Post source code on GitHub, which means that you can go and look on GitHub at the raw code for this page. So there is, that's exactly as it typed it in. And if you're an enterprising person who spotted a typo, you can send me a pull request with a fix or a suggestion. So if you wanted to add another site to this, then you could literally just come in here and click the edit button. So yeah, cool. I will stop there. I hope you have found that helpful. I shall turn this into a blog post as well, in its own right, with some links to the tools, which I shall hopefully cross-link to this video. Short and sweet live stream. See you next time.